Hey, Bambi! You know I got it bad, cause you bad, Bambi. Just put it in a bag and I got you, Bambi. Looking at all that got me mad, crazy. The best I ever had. I'm not like every nigga you know, oh no. I'm the same, and I got the same swag, baby, everywhere that I go. And I got you, lady, so tell me why would I need. But my time is money and my money is time, so we can't take it too slow. So girl, just let me know if you with me, girl, like I'm with you, girl, cause I got what you need, girl. So bring that ass and come through, girl. You know that I want it, I know that you got it, let's have a party. I love that you naughty, you be my new shorty if you really
she got a fat booty, she got a snooty way to
I'm gonna take it back to when I first got connected with Issa. My homie AJ connected me with Issa through Facebook. We probably sat through and listened to. They were all solid songs, but then he made Bambi, and he sent that to my email and was like, "Bro, I got something that I gotta do. It's way better." So he sent that to me, and instantly the track like that, "Hey Bambi," like I was hooked already.
Hey, my name is Brittanee Wright, and I was the women's wardrobe stylist for Issa's Bambi video. I became a part of the project 2 months prior to shooting the video. Issa had hit me up, asked me if I wanted to be a part of it, if I would want to help style the models in the video. And I was really excited when he asked me to be a part of it. I was trying to figure out my job, trying to make sure I could make it work. It got to the point where I was too overwhelmed and got back to him way too late, and he had ended up finding someone else to style the video. I had saw him at like Taco Tuesday or something, and I was like, Issa, like, I'm so sorry. Like, I felt so bad because I did want to be a part of it, and it just didn't work out. It wasn't the right timing for it. And so I was like, any future projects, if you do want to work together, don't forget about me. And he was really cool about it. He's like, no, I completely understand. Like, I have good vibes with you, so he's like, I would still love to work with you sometime. It was like a week before the planned shoot, he hit me up, and he was like, hey, Britt, you still interested in styling? And I was so excited. I'm like, yeah, like, I'll figure work out, whatever. So we met up, talked about the concept of the shoot, and I was all about it. That's how I became part of the project.
Josh Ambrose, social media, creative content. If you guys have seen some of the things that Issa's been dropping and some of the different things we've been dropping, I helped produce a lot of that. Issa and I met playing poker probably about 7 weeks before the project. He was there at the poker table. He won a few pots. I won a few pots. I think he did better than me that day. But he ended up giving me his number because I told him, hey, if you want to, take your Instagram game to the next level, if you want to see your social media posts do better, let me know. I can help you out with some marketing stuff. And he's like, sure. I don't think he took it too seriously because I was, jaw-jacking at the table and doing my normal kind of poker routine that I do. But what I did is I took what I saw. I went and saw some of his videos that he had made previously. I liked them. They were good. I feel like they were like this close to being great, and they were just really, really good, but they weren't getting traction where I like to consume my music. I watch YouTube videos because when it comes down to it, I love to see the artist's idea behind the video. And so I was like, oh my gosh, you know what I should do? I'm going to take one of his songs he didn't make a video for. So I went and found one of those songs, and I had a video produced. I sent it to him, and he loved it. He thought it was really great. He thought it was great content. At that point, I think that I had his ear. So we got together, we sat down. The first sit down that we had, we talked about getting together for coffee. The first sit down, he said, hey, I'm meeting with director of Bambi. Do you want to come sit down with us? And I said, cool. And at that point I was in. Kind of nuts, but it was like 0 to 100.
First time, because the first time I worked with Issa was his other video, Good Times. And that was actually super last minute, and I just kind of jumped in because the second day they were shooting, they didn't have an artist. So I just kind of showed up, and they actually ran out of models that day too, so I am in an awkward last few seconds of that music video. And he got a hold of me a few months ago when he was planning everything out and sent me his Pinterest board and everything, all his inspiration. And I just get really excited with creative looks, so And Issa's awesome and super fun to work with.
I had gotten a message from Miss Hannah, and her and I have worked together for about 3 years on various projects, and I had gotten a message that she needed help with this project for one of the days. And so, of course, I rearranged everything in my schedule, dropped everything and said yes. I knew that if it was connected to Hannah, that it was going to be amazing people to work with, and I was 100% right.
I wanted to work with this guy from day one. You know, he was just amazing. And I kind of wasn't super familiar with the process, so I was kind of like, bro, like, here's the song. Let me know what the creative direction is on that.
Yeah.
And we kind of hit a wall.
We had some ideas to build do different colored backdrops and build, like, these stage design, these sets, like, in super complicated ways. What really finalized our ideas and what we wanted was when you had Lauren Ogard make the Bambi animation and then the mood board for the cover of the song.
Yeah.
And that kind of just set it off from there. Like, we had a mood board we could look at. We just kept using that for reference, and then we just sat down and just ideas just were sparking. We just organized a couple meetings, and we sat down and we talked more and more about just like what we were looking for and how we wanted to present these women in the song without over-sexualizing it and making it artsy but more editorial. And that was like the huge thing that really stuck with me that you said, was that you wanted it to be an editorial type video, like things to be like some stuff you saw out of a magazine.
Working with Nick for me was like a dream come true, because you're a legend in Portland, and I respect art. I respect the crap out of his creativity. So he did amazing videos around town. I got this video done in 2015, followed through with my goal, probably, before our video, probably my best work, with Sam Lingle. And then one of his friends, Tommy Lowe, a.k.a. AJ. He's like, who's Tommy Lowe? One day he's like, Tommy Lowe, he just doesn't want people to know his name. But anyway, AJ, shout out to you. You made this happen. So he puts a comment under my video, and he goes, this video, followed through my goal, is cool, but Nick would have murdered this. I try to respond to every comment on my video on Facebook. I went in and I was like, yo, I appreciate that. If you think he could have done a better job, connect me with Nick, because I'd love to meet him. So that was the perfect opportunity to get introduced to Nick. I remember the first time I drove to your old apartment with all your 6-7 roommates.
Yeah, that was bad.
Oh my God. Okay, so that's funny, because I was like, damn, I'm driving to meet the legendary Nick Pop. Like, driving in my Mercedes, like, okay, get the address, like, oh yeah, that's the house. Leave your shoes at the door. Okay, cool. And then like, okay, cool. One person comes in, another person walks by. Another person walks by. I hate people leaving his house. So I was like, okay, cool. And then Nick shows up, It's kind of like a scene like, those Dave Chappelle scenes, like, Nick shows up. He's like, yo, follow me to my room. Let's go check this out, So I go to the Nick studio, man. That's like
tiny.
A tiny room, tiny screen.
You like touch both walls, I swear. Like,
I'm not sure where to sit. Like, should I sit on your bed? But that was cool, because like, I think at that point, I wanted him to connect with my music. I wanted to show him some stuff that I've been working on. And it was cool. It was just like a cool, humble meeting of just two people that seem to respect each other's art. I really appreciated it, And so that was the first time we met,
Yeah.
And from there, it was just about, for me, it was important to make sure that we found the right track, because I knew that doing a Issa and Nick Pop, Issa Purple collaboration, I knew in my heart of heart that it needed to be the most amazing thing. My goal was to make something amazing. So I didn't want to just do anything, but I wanted to connect. I knew that you needed to connect. That's why we went through like a bunch of different songs. There were some songs that I thought would have been great, and
it was weird because a lot of the songs that you sent me were like, these themes were getting picked up by other artists that were like, that we don't even associate with, like bigger artists, like when Bambi came out, like you'd been working on Bambi, and then Jadena dropped Bambi.
That was weird, yeah.
You had the French song and Should Have Been Us, and then those
got picked up.
Those beats got picked up by Future, so then we had to cut those because we didn't want it to look like we were trying to make a remix. It was kind of weird how all this happened and how it all kind of just fell into place on its own. Like right after we had the ideas, it was like everyone was so open to being a part of it, which is like so rare, like especially when working with people that believed in the art like you and I did, working with Hannah and Shawna and Josh
And Brittanee.
and Brittanee, yeah.
Tim Blachard. Yeah, it was crazy because I think before we even got to the concept, I waited patiently for Nick to come up with the creative direction. And I kept trying to follow up with you, like, yo, what's up? Like, what's going on? Like, do you have an idea on this or that? Then one day I was just like, you know what? I'm coming to your house. Let's figure this out. Because we had trouble figuring out the process or the direction. I think you understood that I wanted something great. Yeah. And so I go to his house.
New house.
And then we sit on the couch and we just kind of start talking about it and hashing it out. And I think within an hour, we just had this like creative
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It was just flowing. Like, I don't even remember what the first idea was.
The other problem we had was we didn't have models.
True.
You know,
Yeah.
We wanted a Bambi. I put out a casting call and basically kind of crickets. I called a friend, Miriam Job from Gambia, who used to model. I asked her if she knew anyone that could be the Bambi. At this point, I was pretty desperate. I was like, any dark-skinned woman. She put me in touch with Binta. I just wanted them to understand that this was a celebration of beauty and diversity, and especially, dark-skinned women like them, because in the industry, we don't see a lot of videos that showcase this. I wanted to make sure that I tell the world that I think that's beautiful. That's where I'm from. I represent that, and I think that diversity is important. So I think that message was strong enough. It was only supposed to be one model, but then I was like, I remember my always be closing, in sales, always be closing. So I was like, okay, Binta, thank you. I'm so excited that you're agreeing to be a part of this, especially, like on a low, like, is there anybody else that you know that could be a part of this? Well, I'm glad you asked. Actually, I'll put you in touch with JJ. And I call JJ. I give her the same pitch over the phone. I sell JJ on the idea, and I'm like, is there anybody else that you know? If Binta didn't do it, then we could have number two. And so I end up having Binta, JJ, and Fatima, and I'm like texting Nick, look, Nick, I got 3 Bambis just in case. Can we make this work?
Remember that message? Mm-hmm. And I was like, I guess so. I was saying we don't need 3.
Right.
I remember saying that. I was like, we don't need 3. And you were like, I think we should. And I was like, okay, so how can we take these 3 girls and give them their own personalities and their own scenes and make this character come to life with compliments of the location? And